Hello, everyone, and welcome to an old school version of Speaking Moistly directly from Ottawa and from my maple syrup shack. We have correspondent Greg on the ground to bring us an update from the terrorist uprising that is taking place in the Canadian capital.
Yes,
Greg.
Mark, I'm on the ground here. There's lots of Canadian flags, lots of people with army print clothing. Need I say more? Really?
Done. No, we're done.
I think we know the intentions of these people. It's pretty clear. They're hugging one another. There's bouncing cancels. There's children playing. There is free food being handed out. It's quite disgusting, to be honest. Jim Watson couldn't have called the state of emergency soon enough. All of this positive, friendly energy, crime going down,
this insurrection that has resulted in a lower crime wave, free food, homeless being taken care of, and general positive attitudes. What a nightmare you must be living through. I think the best part, did you get to the saunas? Did you see the saunas in person?
I did not see the saunas. I did not see the bouncing castles either. Like it's kind of sprawling. Like everything that's around is kind of sprawling out in different directions.
I'm disappointed about that.
Yeah. That I didn't see the sauna.
That you didn't see that. Like, I think that would have been if I would have been like, listen, really, where's the sauna? The most important part of this protest is where's the sauna.
You think so?
No. But I think I would have
just like the most important part of this protest is like some flag they found one time that was probably just set up. No one actually saw it in real life. It's just I actually asked a local. Flag? I'm trying to interview more locals for content, and I interviewed a local last night. I'm like, "Did you see a Nazi flag or anything?" And he's like, "No, I saw it all over my social media though." And I was like, "Why is everyone like sharing these images? That's kind of weird."
Yeah,
like
I think, I think that one of the most interesting aspects of this is like the news media not really being concerned that a state of emergency was called in the capital city of the country by the mayor, and there was no response by the government for days after that. The government was like, man, there's an emergency and there's truckers, and what do we do? And Justin Trudeau was like, you know what, personal day.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been watching the media a whole lot. I watched kind of like the cycle during the past week, but I'm sure they're just throwing all sorts of stuff at the wall. And is this the same pattern though, where the reporters like there's something going down at the Capitol? We have no images or video of what's going on at the Capitol, other than these weird night shots where we're like looking at a car tire, and it's like there's a truck tire here, and that's all that's going on.
It's a very tight shot. The strategy this time is to everybody picks a line. So the police said we are going to enforce the jerry can rule, right? Like you are not allowed to bring a jerry can to a trucker. That is illegal.
But did the news cover that?
Yes. So the news, the way the news covered it. Well, the way the news covered it on Twitter is they had main anchors. Yeah. So they had like headline anchors, like top notch, like the anchor people, right? Like, so sometimes you got like lower level reporters.
They're super charming and like A-list. They're like, this is the authority of what's happening in our country.
Yeah, it's like, I got out from behind my desk and went to check it out. So, but the anchors were sending out tweets like, the ban for jerry cans is not being enforced by police. And then it outlined the rule of jerry cans from yesterday. And then they usually have a picture like this guy with the jerry can and Canadian flag is just walked by us. So like trying to sell the story that like, while the police are telling you they're doing something, they're not actually doing something. So I think that that's an interesting line. Like, I think that that's an interesting way to cover it.
And I think that there's probably a lot of parallels here, but it's not just, oh boy,
the camera's going to sleep.
It's not just I saved it. It's not just lies on lies. Sorry, it's not just one lie. It's kind of lies on lies on lies that kind of help build this narrative, right?
Yeah, man.
And I remember seeing like this Twitter doctor. I think he was he's one of these TV doctors now that has a big following. And his tweet was, well, if there's no violence, then why is there a state of emergency? It's kind of like
checkmate, idiots.
Doctor. Okay.
Did you hear? Yeah, right. Well, all of that faulty, like that kind of misleading line of thinking and that faulty.
Anyway, it's just funny because it's like, okay, you're the doctor, right? You're the expert. That's your okay.
Yeah, that's where you're gonna go. That's where you're gonna go.
Well, if the study said this, they wouldn't be wrong about that ever. There wouldn't be any money behind these studies. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Obviously.
Critical thinker.
Imperial Tobacco says these cigarettes are safe, sir. And so who are you to say anything to
Imperial Tobacco wouldn't lie to me
on cigarettes.
Imperial Tobacco wouldn't lie to me. Like, it's the science.
Why would they pay their scientists a lie? Holy smoke.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Did you hear about first the arson attempt by the pink-haired trucker?
Well, actually, so I'll share my side of the story, and then it looks like this story has developed further.
Oh, is there more? Okay, tell us.
Well, you said it's a trucker.
Well,
did
apparently
they say it's a trucker.
No,
they tried to slip that in and be like, trucker tried to burn down a building.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
They tried to pitch that.
Yeah. Jagmeet Singh's got a statement on his Twitter account right now.
So
about how attempted arson is.
If this is what I think it is,
the pink-haired 19-year-old.
This is the most like sus thing I've ever heard. So the way I discovered it is I was looking at Canada Land and to see if they had covered much about, because Canada Land is a very interesting platform.
Yeah.
Pardon?
They broke weed.
They didn't really break weed. They kind of capitalized on what was going on, and they probably had some inside information which they were like able to leak to like kind of say like, hey, we figured out.
Oh, you think it was a controlled?
We didn't figure out anything actually about the weed demolition scandal.
Interesting.
Like, it's all been covered up.
Yeah.
And
how did it benefit them?
Because even you saying that, oh yeah, they broke the weed. We don't know anything still about the weed scandal. It's been fucking covered up.
Well, right. It's been covered, but if they're controlled,
the investigation was not thorough. It was a kind of a surface level sort of thing. And
it totally screwed the weed guys, but it didn't do anything to Justin Trudeau.
Well, exactly, right. And it's like it was almost like this orchestrated sort of.
So maybe Trudeau was done with them, and he was like, "This is a good way to get rid of these idiots."
Anyway, I'm very suspect of Canada Land, because my suspicion is that they are state controlled alternative media. They're state approved alternative media.
Yeah.
We're the alternative, the state approved one, where basically everybody who works for us also works at the National Post. Anyway, so I was like, I wonder how they've covered this protest. And like one of the first things I see is like a tweet by Jesse Brown, and he's like, wow, what a harrowing story. And he retweets a Twitter thread that is like some account with 200 followers, not even. And it's like a bunch of images of like, someone tried to start a fire.
Yeah.
And I was just reading the comments. I was reading the comments, and even like random people were like, well,
this is insane.
Why did no one call the cops when that happened? Like they saw that, they took those photos, and they didn't call the cops. That's kind of weird, man.
Yeah. I read that thread on my show this morning, and like it doesn't, the inconsistencies, like, oh, I was totally randomly in the building lobby at 5 a.m. and I saw these two truckers trying to light a fire, and instead of like doing anything about it, I got in the elevator. You're like, what?
And I really want to emphasize, like, these people are evil, whether they know it or not. Like, this is just so dishonest. This is such a deception. And instead of considering the mandates and stopping them, instead of considering this is the largest protest in Canadian history and recognizing that it's a kind of beautiful moment of unity, if you actually look outside of what's going on, instead of recognizing all that beautiful, it's almost like the holding hands together stuff that leftists always talk about. That's what's going on in the city of Ottawa. And instead of covering that, they're like, let's try to make it look like truckers were burning down a building. I heard another crazy story that apparently two men attacked a nurse or something and assaulted a nurse. This is what somebody told me, and I'm like, really? Like an isolated incident of one nurse getting like assaulted by two men, and like we're supposed to believe it was like truckers or something. But maybe that was such a sketchy story that they didn't run it because it was like somebody caught video of it or something.
Yeah, maybe. It's interesting though. It's interesting.
We're good.
It's interesting in how the Grinch stole Christmas. The character that is missing from the story, that is in our story, is the mainstream media. Right, like the Grinch who's singing and getting over it, and then he realizes his mistake. But we've got the mainstream media, so our Grinch, Justin Trudeau, doesn't actually get to see the mistake he's made. He just reads the mainstream media and goes, "I knew they were racist."
Yeah,
right?
And in this case, Justin Trudeau's heart is growing 2 sizes for different reasons.
Right, the myocarditis growth.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. No, it's the worst when you have to explain the joke. Darn it. So have you seen the other protests? And like just before the show, I saw two other.
The counter protest?
No. The protests inspired by these truckers. There's the Brooklyn Bridge was shut down by healthcare workers, and they unfurled a Canadian flag.
Brooklyn Bridge?
No word of a lie, sir. Happened. I don't know if it happened today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I've got the link. I'll send it to you if you're interested. So the Brooklyn Bridge was closed down with the Canadian flag unfurled. Freedom.
Let's go.
The Ambassador Bridge, which represents a quarter of all trade between Canada and the United States, shut down today through American truckers blockading it. The blockade to get onto the Ambassador Bridge is something like it's mile. They had some calculation saying like if it's 4 miles, your wait will be this long, and if it's something like 20 miles or something like that, like the bridge is backed up that long. So it's like, holy smoke,
dude! So, just like honestly, reverse the mandates, man. Like it's that simple. People are getting distracted with this, that, and the other, and it's like
they're trying
reverse the mandates, like stop the mandates. That it's really even actually simple. PEI,
even Saskatchewan. So Saskatchewan has reversed the mandates. Scott Moe proceeded with his announcement. It's going to be on my show tomorrow if you're interested in checking that out. Scott Moe is reversing the mandates by Valentine's Day. There's going to be no passports, but that still gives. In my jaded head, that still gives 6 days for people to make an argument that the passports should need to stay. So until those mandates are lifted, I would say seriously keep on trucking, boys.
No, and like it should be, you know.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine if they say, yeah, we're going to end the mandates, and then
the cases went up,
and then they don't, or something like that. Yeah. Or they try the same bullshit again, where it's like, oh, there's a new.
Why wouldn't they?
Therefore, we need everything back.
That's the thing. Well, they're going to.
Right. Yeah, and that's why
so effective.
That's why maybe, you know, part of the demand needs to be, can we just like jot something in the charter there real quick? Just a little line there. Yeah.
If the truckers need to do this again, we're not happy. We're not going to be happy, Justin.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is, the problem with it is not that we need to modify our governing documents. It's that we need to have accountability for leaders who ignore our governing documents, from medical officers of health, public health, mayors, city councilors, provincial MPPs, provincial premiers, MPPs. Every single one of these people should be 100% accountable to the businesses they've allowed to be destroyed on their watch. I can't wait for accountability. I'm going to be sitting there in the audience, and I'm going to smile at all of these people who ignored me. And I mean, I'm talking figuratively. I'm not going to be sitting there like making eye contact with them, but I'm going to enjoy the shit out of watching those hearings when that eventuality happens. And either we go into a nightmarish hellscape where we are in a communist we are crushed under the communist boot of this regime. That's a possibility. We're not out of the woods yet, but if sanity reigns, if we get out of this, accountability comes next. And I just can't wait for the public trial. It's going to be OJ on steroids, and I'm going to love it. Like I'm going to just open up a new YouTube channel just to cover the trial.
Yeah, no, seriously. And it's true, because it is going to create momentum, right? It's like, and that's why they're digging their heel. That's why the Trudeau regime is digging in their heels so much, because they know that once they give into this, well, it's going to lead to a couple other things, right?
Unwound. The whole thing comes unwound. Like you can't.
I really
think the reality of life right now.
I really think that they've miscalculated in that if they were to have kind of given into the demands like 5 days ago or whatever, they wouldn't look so evil. Because like now, for the people at the protest especially, and like a lot of people like us, like it's kind of gone from like, yeah, they're pretty corrupt, and now it's like these guys are evil, power hungry, like psychopaths. Like it's kind of confirmed suspicions that we may have had, and it's like, this is really bad, actually. Like they want it to be this, this communist hellscape already. They're bringing down the state police. They're stopping a lawful protest from happening.
Well,
that's very well organized, by the way.
It is I can't believe how well organized. I've talked with people who I've talked with some organizers. I've interviewed some organizers. I've chatted with people who are down there, Greg, and I haven't directly chatted with Rage, but I've been following his channel and some other things.
He's doing good stuff. I chatted with him yesterday.
but I've also chatted with people outside of those circles just to see kind of what they think. And initially the thoughts were, this is not a very well organized thing, but man, they've got lots of gumption, right? Like they've got lots of drive, lots of, not ad hoc organization, but, looking from the outside, not realizing the level of like driving captains. The garage door just opened. Driving captains and organizational, like if you join the organization, you have to sign this talking about how to comment and all of that other stuff. But now that we're really in the thick of this, the organization level is very, very apparent. And it's really clear that it's really well organized, like really well organized. So I'm blown away with how well organized. And other people are saying to me, like, this is very, very well organized.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's there's lots of hands on deck. There's lots of hands on deck willing to help. And I got some great interviews the day before yesterday of people handing out. They had like all these pop-up tables, all of this, like, hot chocolate, hot dogs, all like this huge spread of food. And it was like, yeah, we all kind of came together and did it. And it's just a really, really beautiful thing. And speaking to the violence as well, organization is one thing, but the fact that there's so many people at this that have come to this protest, especially on the weekends, and there really hasn't been much violence to speak of at all. Like we've probably seen every single instance of it in the news, and they're all, very, like, considering how many people are down there, like it's pretty,
very peaceful.
It is very peaceful, and it's being managed very well.
Yeah, I'm surprised with the police who are willing to go and remove property that is not theirs. It's not illegal,
Yeah.
That theft of property was really kind of an impactful moment for a lot of people, I think. And so if they do. So there's rumors, and you were saying lots of rumors in Ottawa. I've been seeing lots of rumors about enforcement and bringing in riot police and all that other stuff. I think if they do that, they risk inciting more protests across the country rather than cooling things off. I think that would be a very, very bad move on their part.
Absolutely. And it's just to, like, the frame needs to be like emphasized. It's not even getting rid of mandates as much as like keeping the free country that we have and going back to the free country that we were promised and everyone was promised to live in Canada. Like it's in the national anthem. It's in the documents of our country. Like, these protesters just want Canada back, Canada the way it was. Okay. Like this ask
warts and all
protesters is not at all out there. It's not far out there at all. Okay?
No,
like, it's the most simple request. It's like, hey, we're basically asking, the rulers of this country to obey the law, like obey the rules of our own country. Like, that's the only question. And it's being met with police, like the state force police, seizing food and gasoline. And it's like, you're not seizing drugs. You're not seizing like weapons that are illegal.
Yeah.
It's you're seizing gasoline and food. Yeah. Like, this is, So I hate to say, like, I told you so, of like, hey, we're heading towards communism, but it's like, it's here, folks. It's right here.
Yep.
And if you don't want to admit that, anyway.
that's why we're seeing the pushback, though, because I think people do see that. I think that people are seeing that. And like, there was one study, and I got to go because I got to go pick up my kids. But there was one guy on Twitter today talking about how he's been talking to people at his PTA, like the school parent meeting group, and like in the bus lineups. And he said, all political stripes, everybody, like from NDP voters to CPC voters to former voters, everybody's concerned about what's going on. Nobody likes what the government is currently doing, and everybody wants it to end. But if we continue down this pathway, and like I said, it's certainly not we haven't won yet. The champagne cannot be uncorked, right? Like, but I can't wait for the big party and the accountability. But if we don't fight, if we don't stand up and fight, by fight, I mean, do exactly what the truckers are doing. We are not moving. You need to respond to us. We are not moving. That's all that we need to do. Like, you do not represent the WEF, the Justin Trudeau loyalists. They do not represent Canada, and their lies are not accurate about Canadians, and it's time for that to end, in my opinion.
Yeah. And the lies that they've told, they're not like kind of coy, cute little sort of liberal talking points.
Oh, you're hanging.
Version of reality. His lies aren't these like innocent little liberal talking points anymore. They're these sick inversions of reality.
Yep.
Like our institutions, Justin Trudeau, Jagmeet Singh, they are tainting and trying to make like the most beautiful moment of national unity. They're trying to make it look bad, and they're trying to stomp all over that.
Yep.
And it's criminal, it's horrible, it's deplorable, like, it's shameful, despicable. And I really, people say don't be divisive. And I understand that, but there's no being in the center anymore on this. Like there's no like, because I've taught there's people out there who take this stance, and it does not make any sense. And it's like you either support the mandates, you support Trudeau, you support basically all of the incompetence that's happened over the past 2 years, and the fact that we don't live in a free country anymore. Either you're on that side, or you want to go back to normal. You're with the truckers. You want the mandates over. And if you're in the center, because I've heard people say this. They say, well, I don't like Trudeau. I don't like what the government's doing, but the truckers aren't doing it right. The truckers are dumb. That's not how you protest. And it's like, no, man. Like you can't exactly have that stance. You support Trudeau. You support the mandates, and you're just too afraid to have an opinion on it. And it's really sad that there are people, and I think it might be a larger number than you would hope, who actually feel that way. And like, that's the demoralization, right? It's like, shit, that's what we're left with, are these people who are standing by.
But those people are artificially amplified by the mainstream media. Those people are artificially held up as examples.
Well, I don't know if they're held up as examples. No, I'm talking about people who I know in my life who I'm talking like real life people who are normies. These normies, these paralyzed normies who are, they're racist.
Brittle
still.
Star,
and it's like there's hippies down there, man. There's the person. I interviewed someone with a trans flag yesterday. It's like, it's not what you think it is at all. Yeah. It's Canada. That's who's down there. Canada is down there.
Yeah. Well, no, and I'm glad, but I'm saying people who have that, people who go to that middle ground are being encouraged to go to that middle ground by people like Brittle Star and other media like that. Oh my God. I know. I hate him too, but come on.
Oh my. I saw you reply to him like you're such
I was dunking on him a little bit. Yeah. Insufferable beta.
It's so triggering. Actually, on the same point, I talked to an Ottawa citizen, and I think I'll post part of the interview, but part of it is like, I almost feel bad for the guy, because he had this stance where he's like, I'm trying to have a centrist on this. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, wait, do you even know what the protests are about? And he's like, not really. I haven't really done my research on either side. And I'm like, oh, it's to end the mandates. And he's like, well, end the mandates. What do you mean? And I'm like, bro, I can't go to a restaurant in Ontario. I can't go to a theater. I can't get on a plane or a train. Well, are those the mandate? And he's like pushing back on it. And I'm just kind of like,
yeah.
Like, I'm not allowed. You really don't know what's going on at all. It's like you're probably high watching Netflix all the time. Like, this is so
unbelievable,
man.
All right, man. I agree with you, but I gotta go because I'm already a few minutes late. But it's always lovely catching up. You can check out all of the historical episodes of Speaking Moistly at the speakingmoistly.co, but not all of them because I haven't uploaded them because I'm terrible. And you can check out things that Greg does. Where can they find you, Greg?
Yeah, find me on my YouTube channel, Greg Wycliffe. You can see the word right there, the name. There's so many interviews I have from Ottawa. So only, a few of them are uploaded, but, go over and check those out, share them, like them, comment.
And you can please, and subscribe. And you can find my stuff all over the place, and I won't bore you with all that. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.